Royals were victorious tonight against the Chicago White Sox, and they have the people all across the land saying, hey, 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 hey. Welcome to the Royals Recap. I am Jacob Milham, one half of the Royals Rundown podcast. Before we get into it, if you want a more detailed written breakdown of tonight's victory over the Chicago White Sox, go visit royalsreview.com. Also, make sure you sign up for an account over there, join the comment community, really just engage with other Royals fans that are over there at royalsreview.com. You will not regret it, I promise you that. Well, y'all, if you're sitting here listening, you already know what I am here about, but for you rare first-time listeners, what I do is I take each and every game, break it down into what you need to know and what we should expect in the next following game. And folks, this was a little bit of a nail biter. I'm not gonna lie. The Kansas City Royals had a great start from Michael Wacha, another one, earning his first win tonight. But man, I was getting very nervous. There were no runs from either team until the bottom of the seventh, when MJ Melendez really broke things open, having a 2-run home run thanks to a little bit of help from the Chicago White Sox. You needed White Sox center fielder Dominic Fletcher to kind of push things over the edge, if you will. But that's all that matters, though. MJ Melendez got his home run that scored Salvador Perez, and then lo and behold, Michael Garcia comes through with an RBI, scoring Donald Blanco, and that was the difference in tonight's game. A lot to discuss from tonight, but I do want to make two things abundantly clear. And if you follow us on X, you already know these opinions, but I want to reiterate it for y'all. And if you don't know where to follow us on X, you follow us at Royal Rundown Pod. But first point I want to make is these Kansas City Royals right now have more in common with the 2014 Royals than they do their 2013 iteration. I remember back when I was writing for Inside the Royals, folks were comparing, I believe it was either the 2021 or the 2022 Royals to like the 2011, 2012 iteration. You know, we all want to go back to the most recent successful version of the Kansas City Royals and say, well, this team looks like them for this reason. And I'm seeing a lot of the 2013 comparisons there. And I don't want to go into detail here because I want to talk about it tomorrow with Jeremy Greco a little bit more in depth. But if you look at pitching especially, this team has a lot more in common with the 2014 Kansas City Royals. Am I saying that they are AL pennant bound and World Series bound? No, I'm not saying that at all. But I am saying that through 9 games of the 2024 season, your Kansas City Royals are looking pretty damn good. And that is without a doubt, without question, absolutely loving what I am seeing from these Kansas City Royals. The second thing that I want to make abundantly clear is the 2024 Kansas City Royals do not sleep on this rotation any longer. Alec Marsh is going to get the start tomorrow. And then after he makes his start, we will see the rotation make 2 full turns, if you will. And they have performed amazingly well, not just against lower level competition. No, we're not the Detroit Tigers up in Motor City taking on lesser competition. We are taking on the Minnesota Twins, who won the AL Central last year. We're taking on the Baltimore Orioles, who won the AL East and were a 100-win team last year. And I get it. The Chicago White Sox aren't much to write home about this year. But it still says something when you handle your business against a team. And that's what the Royals did tonight. So far in 2024, the Royals have a top 5 rotation in all of Major League Baseball. That is without question. Granted, it's through 9 games. I get it. But all the numbers back it up that the Kansas City Royals, yes, the team that hasn't developed an internal starting pitching prospect in pushing a decade now, they are one of the top rotations in all of baseball. Their rotation so far is already worth 1.2 FWAR. That is an amazing number. That's an amazing ballpark. That currently ranks 3rd in all of baseball, only trailing the Boston Red Sox and Philadelphia Phillies. Their expected numbers are almost better than their actual numbers right now. It's amazing. The Royals lead all of baseball with a 1.43 ERA as a rotation. Now they're not getting it done sexily. I get it. They're not striking out guys left and right. Honestly, their strikeout numbers as a rotation, I don't like. But you know what? You know what forces me to ignore that? The fact that they are getting their jobs done. Okay, we're not seeing guys go out there and get 7 strikeouts, but then also walk 3 batters and allow 5 earned runs. We're not seeing that. Michael Wacha tonight had a great game. First off, I was not expecting an 8 strikeout game from him in 7 innings. Was not expecting that. And just think, as we sit right now, he is the Royals' 4th starter behind Cole Reagan, Seth Lugo, and Brady Singer. We get Alec Marsh on Sunday. That is an amazing stroke of luck for the Kansas City Royals. And this will not age well if the Royals don't perform well across the entire 2024 season. But Royals fans should be very, very thankful for what J.J. Piccolo and company went out and did this offseason. Because it not only brought in Seth Lugo and Michael Wacha, 2 guys who've done nothing but perform this season, it also pushed Brady Singer to increase his pitching arsenal, to get better, feel that fire up against the wall. And he got better. And Alec Marsh, listen, I absolutely love that the Royals had the balls to say, you know what? Screw Jordan Lyles' contract. Screw the experience. Alec Marsh, you are performing head and shoulders above him right now, and you have the 5th spot in the rotation. Go out there, prove us right. And he did that in 1 start. Now Sunday, we'll see if he does. We'll see if he does it again. Excuse me. I got a little bit off on a tangent there, so let's get back to Saturday night's game. A lot to like from the top of the lineup. Excuse me. I've been a little critical of Michael Garcia and Bobby Witt Jr. Feels like they've been on a little bit of a cold streak lately. Thankfully, both of them kind of broke out of that. They had 2 hits apiece going down the lineup. Salvador Perez had another hit. MJ Melendez, like I said, had that 2-run home run. Nelson Velasquez had a multi-hit game, so good for him. Nick Lofton, folks will see 0 hits in the box score, but I see 2 walks. Guy got on base. That's all you want from a guy who's still in a rookie status in Major League Baseball. So absolutely love that. Dairon Blanco too. When he was pinch hitting for Nick Lofton, drew a walk himself and came around and scored a run. Like, I love stuff like that. That is exactly what you want to see from a guy coming off the bench. You just want him to get on base. He doesn't have to come in and win the game for you. He just has to do his job. Speaking of a guy not really doing their job, Garrett Hampson, I think Alex Duvall said it best. This guy's getting paid $2 million just to exist right now. And that's what we saw on Saturday night. He had one hit, whoopty frickin' do. It raised his batting average this year to .091. That is amazingly bad. And he also had 3 strikeouts. For a guy who's known for his speed and bat-to-ball skills, going out there and having 3 strikeouts is not what you want to see in the 8-hole. Absolutely need to look to see who can fill that spot on Sunday. I don't want to see him starting on Sunday. And then Kyle Isbell, he had a rough defensive play on the field. I will say that. From my understanding, the wind was kind of whipping around in Kauffman Stadium, so that might have caused that error there. But outside of that, he got a hit at the bottom of the lineup, and he's quietly had an okay season at the plate so far. I already talked about Michael Wacha. 7 innings, had another quality start for the Kansas City Royals. That gives Kansas City 8 quality starts in 9 games to start off the season. That is the most in the first 9 games of a season since 1988 for the Kansas City Royals. You had guys like Brett Saberhagen pitching for the Kansas City Royals. And now Seth Lugo and Michael Wacha are continuing the streak. Cole Reagan's there. They're picking that back up. This isn't something that I'm used to as a Kansas City Royals fan. Okay, I grew up during the dark days of the 2000s baseball franchise. Like, any glimmer of hope was a shining light for that throughout the entire season. And to see that sort of sustained success in the first 9 games of the season, absolutely love it. I know sustained and first 9 games don't really go together, but it's a sizable stretch. And we're still in small sample size territory, but if we get to, say 20 games, 30 games, and they're continuing on a similar rate, we're going to have some different conversations. I do like what manager Matt Quatraro did with his relief pitchers. He had Nick Anderson come in the 8th for the hold. He allowed 1 hit, had 1 walk, but all in all, he didn't allow any runs to come around and score. He struck out a batter. He threw a lot of strikes, 17 pitches, 12 for strikes. So I do like that ratio. And like I said, as long as they don't score, your relievers are pretty good in my book. And then Chris Stratton was kind of a surprising guy that he went to in the 9th, but it does make some sense. It is also showing me maybe there is more options that Royals fans would like to give manager Matt Quatraro credit for to close out games. Okay, we didn't see James MacArthur come out there. We didn't see, I don't know. I wouldn't have been surprised if they tried to throw out Will Smith again, considering his small workload on Friday night. But thankfully they didn't. Chris Stratton got his first save of the 2024 season in shutout fashion. No runs, no hits, had 1 strikeout, just like Nick Anderson came in and threw a ton of strikes, 12 total pitches, 8 for strikes. Absolutely like that. And yeah, all in all, Royals pitching staff, 10 strikeouts to only 2 walks and 3 hits. That's crazy. That is, you look at it, you say, okay, they struck out 10 batters and only allowed 5 base runners all game. That is great. That is great, and I really hope they continue this momentum and get the series sweep, maybe, of the Chicago White Sox on Sunday. That'll be really fun if they do. It's absolutely crazy what the Royals have done so far in 2024. I will say, I got to give credit to the broadcast here. They pointed out the fact that last year, the 2023 Royals They didn't win 3 in a row until late July. We're sitting here on April 6th, and they've already done that. It took them 7 series in Kauffman Stadium to win their first series in Kauffman Stadium. We're on series number 2, and the Royals have already done that. They're currently sitting 1 game above 500 for the first time in more than 2 years. I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it. And we have to keep this momentum going. I am curious to see what folks on the field have to say. Coming up on the other side of the ad break, we will hear from MJ Melendez and manager Matt Quatraro. Stay tuned.
Ooh, he says, the solo, I don't know if he's better or worse without you, but that was a different angle, was it not?
Yeah, that was pretty good. I'm kind of cold now.
You're all right. All right, so pitching keeps you in it once again, and then a big hit for you, a little bit different than last night. Last night, beautifully placed, going to the opposite side, punching in that run. Tonight, punching through the wind. What are you trying to do there?
Yeah, obviously, Salvio was able to get on base right there, so I'm just trying to keep the line moving, try to hit a ball hard and hopefully find a hole, and was able to get a little bit of a rally going. So then, obviously, we had bases loaded for a little bit. Michael got a good hit there, too, as well. So just being able to keep the line moving, and I feel like that's what we're doing a good job of.
What was it like, especially as an outfielder in right field tonight, playing in those conditions with, at times, 38, 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts?
Yeah, very windy out there. During BP, we were all, shagging heavy today and making sure we were able to get some good reads with that wind. It was doing some pretty stuff out there. So thankfully, Wacha was able to, keep the ball in the infield and keep the ball between him and Salvio a lot.
We know how frustrating last year was. You guys are over 500. You never were last year. What's different about this team?
Just the team chemistry. We got a lot of guys that are gelling well together in the locker room. We're just having fun and playing baseball, man.
Yeah, hopefully it continues to grow. I mean, we all know MJ is a supremely talented player, and he's kind of, hopefully coming into his own and can develop that consistency that makes the great ones the great ones.
I felt like we had a good mix going. We were getting ahead and staying in attack mode, working both sides of the plate, getting weak contact at times, and, letting the defense play behind and able to get some punch outs whenever we needed them, and get some double play there was a big one there to keep it rolling. But, we were efficient. We were on the attack, and, me and Salvi got in a nice little groove there and, ended up being a fun night.
Alrighty, y'all, that is going to do it for tonight's Royals recap presented by Royals Review. Coming up tomorrow, first off, Jeremy and I will be recording the full-length episode for Sunday that will drop on Monday morning. But for Sunday's game, first pitch is at 1:10 Kauffman Standard Time. Alec Marsh is projected to get the start. Should be a great game. The Chicago White Sox batters don't have a lot of experience against Marsh, so I am curious to see how this game goes. I am glad that Marsh is getting the start within Kauffman Stadium to hopefully help out and prevent some home runs. But we'll see how that goes. I will be right back here tomorrow night to talk about the Kansas City Royals sweeping the Chicago White Sox. For all y'all still listening, please go follow us on X to keep up with all the in-game stuff, to keep up with all the pre-game notes and news and things like that. But I'm going to get out of here. I got some really bad allergies if you can't hear it, so I'm going to get off the mic. For everyone out there still listening, thank you for your support, and until next time, go Royals!